Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. Got a nice day going on here. A little warmer than I like, because I'm wearing my blue Smurf outfit, so that kind of makes it so I'm a little hot, but such is life. Anyway, you guys remember the Cub Cadet ZR50? We're almost there, so yeah. RZT50 zero turn, and I had gotten this on a trade, and last year I only used it a couple of times. Mostly I used it for shredding leaves, so unfortunately I did not service it, and I did not treat it well going through the winter. So you could see by all the stuff all over the ground and so forth. I pressure washed it, and there was a lot of material under here. Also, I mean, obviously while you're here, it's good to check the bearings, make sure everything's all tight and proper, make sure, you know, the deck isn't falling off. And I mention that because, you know, we all kind of get into this stuff as the year goes on, and then you're riding it around, and it's like, oh shoot, a wheel fell off. So you know, I mean, all dumb little things. I put air in the tires, made sure the front's all tight. I also took the top of the motor off. I mean, that goes there and goes round and round, and there's a screen that goes over the top of it, 10 millimeters, all of them. So I took that off and made sure I had no mouse all in here. You can kind of look in there and see. And I also took some compressed air, blew all that out. Once again, pressure washed the whole thing. About changing oil in these things, that's easy enough to do. You do need this little extension thing, because if you don't have it, you end up putting oil all over the place here. And the way it works is to turn off the oil, you push it in and turn it. To dump the oil out, you push it in and turn it and pull it outward. So, be honest with you, I'm not madly in love with this whole little oil spout thing, but it's what they got here. And it does have a low engine oil pressure turn off, but you know, by the time your engine shuts itself down, it could have done itself some damage. So this is the first I'm really noticing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's nice and clean through here. That way I'm not looking at an oil spill going, oh, that's from when I changed it, right? Then I know any future oil spills are a problem. So, I put a new filter in this thing. You know, pre-filled the filter with oil before I put it on. Make sure it's nice and tight. I've drained all the oil. One of these extensions makes life go a lot easier. I also took the plates off the deck and washed them off, got it nice and clean. And I'm doing two things at once as I'm doing this service. I'm basically evaluating the system, the Cub Cadet, to see what kind of shape it's in. If I'm getting the indication that it's not in great shape, that it doesn't have that many miles left on it, if I get that indication, what I'm going to do is I'll probably put it up for sale. This is the season when these things sell fairly easily. It does hold quite a bit of oil here. The oil looks okay. Actually, it looks really pretty good. So I'm going to fill it up with 530 Valvoline, which should provide all the lubrication I should need. Fresh filter. It's full of fresh premium non-ethanol gas. I put the non-ethanol stuff in it. So I'm hoping to get out there and be able to cut the lawn and get that over with. I'm noticing here, right, the belt is not in great shape. So I guess if that goes bad, it shouldn't be a surprise. And also, when I bought this thing, I got this from 2124 Reading. It was a trade deal. Anyway, when I got it from him, he indicated that it could use a set of blades. So hopefully I'm going to cut the grass with it this time. I'm not going to mess with the blades, though I did wash it out underneath. And next time, well, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to order it a fresh belt and a set of blades. So you're about to put a tractor back online for the season. Obviously, you don't even want to touch the key until you make sure, and absolutely sure, that it has oil in it. The second thing I would do is, if you sniff around here, just smell. Normally, mouse piss stinks pretty bad. So you'll go, oh man, there's a mouse in there. And I truly don't recommend even starting it until you're fairly sure there's no mouse in it. Should you make sure the oil's good and start it, you put your hands down around here on both sides, make sure you got air coming out and cooling the heads off. Then you take it to wherever you're going to service it, change the oil, change the filter, grease whatever needs to be greased. In my case, one of my front wheels is missing a grease fitting on one side. I still need to grease it. I don't think these things take grease. No, doesn't feel like it. On my Kubota, the grease fitting's right up on top here, but I'm not feeling a grease fitting. I'll crawl around, make sure that they don't need to be greased. Normally, if you take a quick look online, there's a bunch of online manuals. They'll tell you where all the grease fittings are. For my tractor, for the Hardy diesel tractor here, in the instructions it says grease 21 grease fittings, and the most I've ever managed to find was 16. So there's like 5 of my grease fittings that I haven't been able to find, and they don't tell you in the instruction book where to find those grease fittings. I guess maybe you should know. You look at all the logical places, and then some of the illogical places, like on that diesel tractor in there, it has a grease fitting on the water pump. You would never expect to find one there, but it's there. So obviously you grease it, right? The last thing you need to do is cook your water pump because of 50 cents worth of grease. All right, I'm going to finish this up. But once again, no matter what, before you even attempt to start your tractor, make sure it's full of gas. I also took note this battery is from 2014, which makes it 3 years old. If you guys are familiar with most of these tractor batteries, you're lucky to get 12 months out of them. Maybe you'll get 2 seasons out of them, but it's rare that you get 3 or 4. So I got a pop for a battery. I'm just going to jump it and run it that way. If the battery is the same as it was last year, after running it around for an hour or so, it would start on the battery. So all right, anyway, I hope this helps. Guys, before you get your tractors out, I do recommend an oil change. And once again, make sure that you don't have a mousy living in the engine that's going to blow up the engine. There was a guy, I happened to be looking for the oil filter and all online for this thing, and a guy was selling one of these engines used for $1,500. So just to give you an idea, I'm not in the mood to check for mice, or I'm not in the mood to check the oil. Okay, well, somebody did something, and now they're selling an engine for $1,500, so they must think they're going to get it, even if they only get $1,000 for it. I would check my oil for $1,000, eh? All right, folks, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your heads up, and please get out there and enjoy all your days. Bye now, folks.